Yeah, hello? Oh, yeah. I can't really talk right now. Yeah, I'm doing a documentary. Yeah, it's about Arsenal. Yeah, okay. See ya. Hi, I'm Shubin, and I am an Arsenal fan. So basically, in 2010, I think my dad introduced me to Arsenal. I didn't know much about Arsenal before that time, but I remember my dad was a big Arsenal fan. So from then on, I started watching Arsenal, and I became a big fan because of my dad. So basically, the way I remain dedicated is that when I look at other fake fans or bandwagons, I get angry because they don't stay loyal to their team. So I want to stay loyal to my team and I want to look forward to better ups instead of the downs. And for me to get through to the ups, I have to stick to the downs. And even when we lose, I want to stay there so that I can watch them win one day.
Never gonna happen.
Since the start of the season, I've watched every single game except for three. So I think that's 45 games in total. Um, Unfortunately, I missed those three games. But hopefully, next season, I'll be able to watch every single game from the start till the end of the season. So, in my family, the only two people who really affect me in terms of Arsenal are probably my parents. My dad is kind of happy about it though because he also supports Arsenal, like I said, and he has someone to watch the games with. But my mom is a bit more vocal about it. You know, my mom thinks that my fanaticism over Arsenal affects my grades and such. But I kind of put her comments aside because never will I ever put my mother's comments ahead of my football club. So every day, I would say I spend about an hour browsing about the latest news and transfers. It's usually before bed when I finish my work and such. But yeah, I like to keep updated on everything that happens. So of course, for me to be a fan of Arsenal, I have to be a fan of football. But in general, I would say that the other games I watch besides Arsenal would be like big games, you know, like a local derby or like a top of the table clash. But in general, you know, I would say I'm a bigger fan of Arsenal than I am a fan of football. So if we're gonna go in order, I would say number five would have to be Theo Walcott's goal against Chelsea. I remember I watched that with my dad. It was against Chelsea was like the best team in the point, and when Walcott scored, I went mad. At number four, I would have to put Van Persie's goal against Chelsea. It was 3-3 in like the last minute. And although I hate him now, I remember when Van Persie ran around the keeper and tapped it into the net, and I went mental. At number three, I would have to put Aaron Ramsey's goal against Hull in the FA Cup final. That was the first final I saw Arsenal compete in, and I remember we won that trophy because of his last minute winner. At number two, I would have to go with the most recent one on Valentine's Day 2016 when we were playing top of the table team Leicester and we went 1-0 down. We came back at 1-1, and in the last minute of the game, Ozil swung a ball in and Danny Welbeck came and he headed the ball into the net. And at number one, I would have to say is the first ever time I cried because Arsenal won a game. It was against one of the best teams in the world, Bayern Munich, and we were 1-0 up. And in the last minute, Bayern were attacking, but we counter-attacked, and Bellerin crossed the ball in. I remember Özil kicked the ball, and it went just over the line, and I cried so much, and I was so happy, and we won the game 2-0. For number five, most heartbreaking, which is the least heartbreaking out of these five, I would say it's the first time I cried as an Arsenal fan, 8-2 against Man United. Let's not talk about that. Number four would be against Liverpool because that season we were running for the title and then we just lost 5-1. That was horrible. Number three, I would have to put when Van Persie, one of our best players, went to United and then scored against us. And if that wasn't bad enough, he celebrated by running around the field. And I was so angry at that point. Number two would probably have to be Diego Costa this year when he got one of our players sent off for doing absolutely nothing. And then he went on to score like 10 minutes later. And that goal like won the game like 1-0. I went so angry during that game. And for number one, most heartbreaking moment would have to be this year against Barcelona, when I believed that we would beat them, and I believed so much, and we held them for 70 minutes, and after 70 minutes, Lionel Messi counterattacked and he scored, and I cried. So in terms of my top 5 players, I would say number 5 is Theo Walcott because he was one of the first Arsenal players I saw. Number 4, I would put Aaron Ramsey for what he's done to this team, for his winning goal in the FA Cup. For number 3, I guess I'd put Sanchez because he was the first actual world-class player that Arsenal signed and I loved it. Number 2 would have to be Özil for this season's performances. He's been amazing this season and I love all he's done for this team. And at number 1, I would have to put Andrei Arshavin purely because of the goal he scored against Barcelona all the way in 2011 to win us that game. So I've never watched a live game at Arsenal Stadium, but I hope to do that in the future. And of course, when I grow older and I get kids, I hope that they will support Arsenal too, so that we can all watch the games together. Arsenal, we're on your side. Our love we cannot hide. Our hearts and wide for nobody along the way. We will be standing by. We know how hard you try.